And the feats keep piling up for this man. Oda really showcased our man's Rox D. Zebek, the strongest adversary to Roger. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say it because that was an insane panel where he is talking to Emu. What do you mean he got to the flower room? Okay, we're gonna get there, but holy, the narrator was cooking this whole chapter. Like, it's insane. The feats that this man was pulling the entire chapter deserves a break, man. Everybody's gonna be going crazy for a while on this one. So, break next week, but let's dive into the chapter 1155, called The Rocks Pirates. We pick up where we left off with Loki meeting Zebek for the first time, just and keeping the same mentality, saying, "Who are you? I'm not gonna listen to you. I'm not. I'm stronger than some little humans." He's gonna find out today, because Rox is he's scum. He's really just a bad dude with. I think of him as Luffy-like in free will, spirit, and doing things at the top of his head. But and I just remember the theory that I have, and we'll get to it on the inside the room. But he is an evil version of Luffy, basically. If he thinks of something deceptive to push his ambition, something bad to do to push his ambition, he just straight up hits Loki and like wounds him. So he goes and calls his dad, or at least he doesn't say that Zebek hurt him, but he got hurt. And he goes and calls his dad so he can get to the island as fast as possible. But Zebek will just hurt anybody, kill even, as we see. The narrator says that this man, he killed he didn't kill the admiral, but he wounded him so severely that after medical treatment, the admiral had passed away. And that is a grievous sin, apparently. Well, not apparently, of course it's a grievous sin, but in it, like the narrator emphasizes, it was a grievous sin. And okay, so we're going through the chapter. Zebek, he's just laughing, like his free will being the strongest, being able to do whatever he wants. And we see that he has crew members that we're going to find out about in a bit. But I just want to emphasize that he is extremely powerful. I'm excited to see what else he does and to see the God Valley flashback. And there's some translations that are calling him, that's what I wanted to get to on one point here. They're calling it that he is a fan of Davy Jones, or he is but in another translation I'm reading, it says he is claimed to be a Davy Jonesian pirate. What does that mean? First of all, we're calling back early One Piece. Davy back fight. Davy Jones. What a fan of Davy Jones. What do you mean we're gonna actually get like a rock? I forgot the dude's name and I just looked it up, but we're getting references to that from the beginning. And let's continue. We get to a panel where it specifically talks about Davy Jones, but it says he's claimed to be a Davy Jonesian pirate. Are you referencing somebody that's even older, before a not Gold Roger, before Joy Boy or after Joy Boy, like in that after the Void Century? Like, when does Davy Jones come into play? When does this fight start? It feels like a very, like, it hasn't been talked about for hundreds of chapters, and now they bring it up. But awesome callback, Oda. Awesome bringing it back into the story. We see Zebek talking to Emu casually. We see Emu says those sovereigns mean nothing to me. We can assume that Zebek was the one that kidnapped the kings. And honestly, I see Emu just killing the kings because, first of all, I don't even think most celestial dragons know about Emu except for the Holy Knights, the specific servants. Or maybe Zebek killed him because he has a gun. He kind of just threatened, and it didn't work. Emu's so unfazed. It's actually extraordinary how unfazed, no sweating, nothing. Emu is calm throughout this whole time with Zebek talking to him, some random pirate. Not he's not a pirate right now, but he's some guy just inside the flower capital seeing him. It just looks like a stalemate. Like Zebek knows he can't do anything. He has no leverage. He has no winning condition. He just sits there and he says, "Well, crap. I guess I didn't see that coming, but I did drive everybody crazy right now." And I love the demeanor, everything, just saying, "I'm gonna be back." He tells Emu, "I will be back." We have Gunko there in a completely different wardrobe, unfazed as well, not sweating, not worried somebody saw Emu, nothing. And then Zebek just goes back down to outside and leaves, and in future nothing. He is just chilling. I am freaking out with how unfazed everybody is about this interaction. Being this person is basically the king of the world right now, and Zebek wants that position. He wants his spot or her spot. We don't know if Zebek's a woman here yet. We will confirm maybe. But this gives me a crazy theory that I'm very, very glad I just remembered about it. I think that Zebek is a 800 or multi-generational plan. Like, just think about it, right? It is a multi-generational plan. And he has, like, I just want to throw it out there that he has a booklet. He has something that generations have written into this, like saying, "I've gotten this far into my life on finding this out. I know the Marines are holding this, they have this much power." Okay, the next person writes in the same book, "I know this much. There's celestial dragons, they hold all the power basically." And then somebody else comes in, "I know this much. There's somebody up there. There's a king of the world, and I could barely live. I went up there, or somebody maybe got up to marry Joao and then they died. But the last thing they wrote was, 'I'm going to marry Joao and infiltrating the castle.' That person didn't make it. But then the next person infiltrates Mary Joao, sees somebody up there, can't do anything. Or maybe this is, they know there's a king, right? Maybe one of the holy knights said there is a king, Emu. And then Zebek now is the person going to take down that king after gathering all of his generation's knowledge. And he gets to this point and he says, well, I failed conquering. You're very strong. I'm at a stalemate. I really can't do anything to you. You're basically immortal. I gotta leave and come back with reinforcements." And then the God Valley incident happens and he's taken out. But up to the point of God Valley, he says and writes his plan, and that's where Blackbeard takes the book, or like basically it gets the booklet of whatever he's written, though basically generations long of what's going on in the world that his family would know or somebody's passed down to him. Crazy theory, but I don't know. But he says, "I'll be back." Maybe there's something with Blackbeard having the will or something, because remember, Blackbeard's body is very weird according to Marco and everybody that's examined him. We'll see. It seems too simple to say, "Oh, Zebek's devil fruit or something is inside him because of some devil fruit." Maybe Blackbeard ate that, able to save Zebek. I don't know. Seems weird, but it seems like we gotta emphasize that he'll be back because he hasn't officially been back yet. Anyway, continuing with the story, then we see that the narrator starts talking, and there happened to be another intruder, and you see Harold. I love Harold's design. Harold's demeanor. Harold is awesome. I love Harold's character. He's running through completely on fire, and he sees Zebek, and he's gonna clash with Zebek. He's so mad because of the situation he's been put in. He clashes with Zebek. Freaking awesome. I thought when I saw their clash, when I saw that they weren't touching, their blades weren't, at least we can't tell if they're touching or not. But I thought when we had that clash, no, actually, you do see that they're not touching. I thought that clash was gonna be the moment we see the sky split and we were gonna see two unofficial Yonko splitting the sky there. That would have been a beautiful nod. Some people will say we'll have to wait for the anime. Maybe it is a sky splitting event and we get a, nod at Harold being unofficial Yonko level, which would be, chef's kiss. Harold was so strong, insanely strong, which puts Zebek at a very early in his career into being a pirate, very, very strong individual. And I love how they smile and laugh after they clash, like, hey, who are you? It's so great. I love that when they find strong opponents, like, hey, wait a minute, you're really strong. What's your name? Then Harold, and then immediately, just from that in the future, we know the next thing in Zebek's head is, I got to get this guy on my crew. This guy's insanely strong. I love it, And even Harold's lost, and he asks him, "We gotta run away. You're going that way. Where's the New World? Where's Elbaf?" He's like, "I don't know where Elbaf is. I don't want to jump on the wrong side of the wall. Imagine." And then you have Zebek pointing the other direction, like, the New World's that way. Just jump that, and Harold just jumps off the cliff, which big feat, like big endurance, big durability here by Harold. That he just plummets straight down from the top of the red line. And we have Zebek's wanted poster after killing an admiral. We don't see his wanted poster, but remember, in this time, very rare to have big named pirates. There was no pirate king, there were just some random pirates running around, no big names for themselves, and we don't know what it is. He could have been at 1 billion, 2 billion. We don't know what his bounty would have started after defeating an admiral, killing an admiral. Even that's a worse offense. He gets Zebek gets funds. He attacks a ship with tributes, which the tributes are money given to the Merjois for whatever tax, right? He destroys some gates of justice, which, first of all, those are huge. If you remember, a regular ship going through for Marineford and the Water 7. But yeah, then we get a reference to the Davy Jones fights. It is a ruthless fight, so we know that it is more ruthless than whatever Luffy did with his Davy Jones fight. It is ruthless, but you still see the same similar traditions of fighting. With the last fight is the captains with the boxing gloves. It just, you see it and it's like, wait, it looks a little goofy, but yeah, it's ruthless, and it is Zebek with boxing gloves on the last fight, and he starts claiming crewmates and probably crew leaders, captains from their crews, their ships. They're like, I want you on my crew, and he starts collecting crew members, very, very strong crew members, because you can judge how strong they are in the fight themselves. And he starts collecting Edward Newgate. He's not Whitebeard yet. He has Shiki, insane lineup. They get to Elbaf, and you have the lineup of his unofficial crew so far, and you have Zebek in his outfit. Great. Different outfit change, and he starts talking to Harold. And of course, Harold goes to his son. He sees that he's okay, he's happy, and you have a good moment with Loki realizing his father does care about him. He came immediately to see if his son was okay, and he lied actually, and he didn't say that Zebek was the one that hurt him. He said he fell to the underworld. Crazy. Which he didn't even bat an eye, I guess, to it. But you have a lineup of everybody on the crew with giant food around because of Elbaf's size. And he's telling him, Harold, I just love his demeanor. Harold, I missed you. Join my crew. I want you on my crew. I love the demeanor that he gives off. These people are just talking so casually with each other. Of course, Harold wants nothing to do with the criminal activities. He's trying to improve Elbaf. He's trying to be better and get in good graces with the world government, which we do have later on. And I wonder what type of deal Emu, or not even Emu, like the world government did to try and, well, it was Emu, I think, or the Holy Knights, at least. Maybe Emu didn't reveal themselves, but the Holy Knights were sending a message like, hey, yeah, we'll work with you. Anyway, not in this chapter. But yeah, He's talking to everybody. Oh, don't follow him. You're just gonna be in trouble. Don't. He's bad news. And Shiki, the first thing Shiki says, nah, of course, if he dies, I'm getting out of here. I'm just here because of the Davy Jones tradition and respect. And you know, big words for everybody there because they kind. I'm pretty sure they all just got forced into being in the crew because of the Davy Jones fight, but. They're just like, yeah, we're all just selfish. It reminds me heavily of Blackbeard's crew. Just be selfish for your own desire, but do it under my crew until we reach our goals. It's a very interesting dynamic. We have Don Marlon, Stussy, Shiki, Edward Newgate. We have Wang Ji, which did not expect Wang Ji to look like that, and Ganzui, some random. I think we saw him. I don't remember if it was Thriller Bark or not, but the designs is interesting. They all have to be very strong individuals. On top of that, we're missing Kaido as a kid, not kid, but young 16, 18-year-old Kaido. We're missing Big Mom, which is a monster on their own. Like having them also on the crew. Although Kaido that young, I don't know. Luffy's 18, right? But he needs Yonko level. I wonder how strong Kaido would have been when he joined. But Zebek keeps pestering on to join the crew, and he says his dream. He wants to take over the world. He wants to be king of the world. And Loki overhears it, and he says, "That's what does he say?" He says, he doesn't say anything actually. He just emphasizes the world, like that ambition. That's an interesting dream. I want to. I guess this is where he wants to be on his crew. He sees his ambition. He wants to join Zebek's crew. Don't want to miss anything here because he did talk a lot here to Harold. Oh, they were explaining about Pirate Island. So the last person that was shown starts talking about Pirate Island and how Zebek starts creating the plan. And then you see Blackbeard follows with the plan, taking Pirate Island. It just kind of just goes with generational buildup of knowledge and stuff for this execution of a plan to be king of the world. And they're talking about Pirate Island. They found gold. They want to take Pirate Island for themselves after taking the world's government's money as being bounty hunters and just holding it off as their own. And he's telling Harold to join his crew because this is going to lead to him being king of the world. And Harold's like, no, I'm king. I don't want this. I don't want that. I just want to make Elbaf better. And man, that's the end of the chapter basically. It says 4 years pass. So 4 years after that, the plan starts going into fruition. He gets Pirate Island and he forms the Rocks Pirates. You see the Rocks, Jolly Roger there. Man, that is fire chapter. We have Davy Jones. How old is Davy Jones? Is he older than Joy Boy? Is the tradition older than Joy Boy? Is it after the Void Century? It feels like it is a very old tradition that people are still talking about. So I think it's definitely after Joy Boy because very few people and races know Joy Boy. The Buccaneers still hold it. Not the Three-Eyed Clan. The Buccaneers know about it, and the Giants know about it, but they live a very, very, very long time. So they would most likely still remember the word, and since it's in their culture and tradition that they want to be the next Joy Boy, they know who Joy Boy is. But they haven't talked about Davy Jones, and it seems like people know more about Davy Jones because even Zebek knows about it. That Roxy knows about. I don't think of what the person's name was, but that person knew about, and even random pirates know the tradition of it. So maybe it's a tradition that's been carried around more. Oh, my cat just jumped on my lap. Hey, buddy. What's up, baby? Yeah, what's up? Sorry. I just wanted to show you off. But yeah, I don't know if what I don't know if it's more of a pirate thing, tradition just kept being passed around because it is a very well-known fight that some pirates do. Maybe it was passed through word of mouth a lot better than the person who Joy Boy was. And maybe because they actually the world government did their best to hide any information. They didn't even know who Zebek is, and that was 50 years ago for God, less than 50 years ago for God Valley. So yeah, I guess they could suppress the information a lot for Joy Boy and then delete them from history, and Zebek delete them from history as well. So I think Joy Boy, I mean Davy Jones was just not really an issue that they didn't suppress it at all. So maybe it was something like that. But man, 20 minutes talking. It was a great chapter. Seeing Zebek. Let me see here. Anything else? For next chapter, any predictions next? Actually, man, Harold didn't see his child's eyes yet at all. I wonder if he ever gets to see Loki's eyes and realize that he's not blind. Anything else? That theory for Blackbeard being generational knowledge being passed down, I think is important. I think that is a plan that's been passed down because how did Zebek know to go there? Did he just want to be king of the world? Did he just want to overthrow Mary Joie? And he got stuck on a wall. Like, did he just happen to be there and he got stuck right there in front of Emu because he didn't know about this, and he just happened to do this plan himself, get to Mary Joie and overthrow it and take it all out and say, I'm the king now of everything, everybody. And he kind of just got stumped right there because it's like, hey, I'm actually extremely strong. I'm Emu. I'm actually the king of the world. So how did he know about that? Maybe he didn't know at all. He's just extremely powerful and he was able to gun it through to Mary Joie, and he wasn't able to fulfill the plan he thought. Maybe it's that simple and it's not a generational feat, but I think it's a lot more complicated and generations have built up to execute this King of the World plan. Other than that, I think that's it for me, guys. If you can, leave me a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the chapter. If you want me to talk about something else, please do, and I'll be here for the next one.